My name's John, welcome to another Banggood tool review. This review is going to be all about DTI gauges. I've got two budget DTI gauges from Banggood, an Imperial one and a American one. Before I get started, I want to make one or two things perfectly clear as usual. The first thing is, Banggood don't make these. Banggood import them from China. The second thing is, I've been given these completely free of charge to do with whatever I want. I'll probably give them away when I'm finished with them. The third thing is, if you click on the link at the start of the video and you buy one of these through the link, I do get a very small percentage. I'm not going to retire, but it'll certainly help us to make more and better videos. Right, so everything you see here is straight up, straightforward, no pissing about, no bullshit. This will just be the real deal. After I've had a little bit play with them and evaluated them, my friend Bob is coming over. He's actually going to take the back off and have a look inside them and give his opinion, because as you know, Bob kind of specialises in DTIs. He knows what he's talking about, so it'll be interesting to see what he thinks of them. Anyway, that's enough talking. Let's have a little bit play with them. Right, this is the first one. This is the cheapest of the two. This is the Imperial one. Comes in a cardboard box with a bit of polystyrene packing, nothing too exuberant, and straight away it feels light. It feels sort of, doesn't feel cheap, it just feels light. The movement feels nice, but it's got no weight about it. Got a moving bezel, a little clamp on it. One thing it has got is a back mount. Back mounts are pretty useful. I do like a back mount. Right, so that's the Imperial one. Now the metric one. This is a little bit more expensive, but it's still pretty cheap. Comes in a plastic box, which is better than nothing. Calibration certificate. Straight away it feels better. It's twice the weight. Looks a lot better. It's set up with Imperial on it as well. I'm sure Bob will explain a little bit more about that when he has a look at it. Bevel feels nice, got a nice friction. Feels good. Nice clear markings. No back mount though. So you've got to mount it off there. Right, that's enough talking. Well, I'll probably put them on the milling machine and use a DRO on there and get some sort of idea of how accurate they are. But that certainly feels the better one of the two. Right, so this is not a cheap Chinese DTI. It's an expensive Mitsutsuya DTI. All I want to do is see how accurate the DRO is on the milling machine. It hasn't actually been set up. So for 0, the clock, which is there, we'll 0 the axis, give it one full turn, 100 thou, and we'll get a reading of 100 thou. 2, 3, 4, 5. Take it up to 0, 500 thou. So that it means that the DRO is pretty accurate. So now we can take that out of there. If I put the Chinese or the Banggood DTI in, we'll get a direct comparison between the Mitsutsuya and the cheap and cherry. Right, we'll try it with the Banggood one. I hope you can see that. I could do it split screen with two cameras, but it will be, at least for this you can tell it's the real deal, it's a real thing. Up to 0, which is there. 0 the axis. Go to 100 thou, one turn, which is there. It's reading 100 thou. 2 should be 200 thou. 3, 4, 5. It's a funny's hair over onto that 0 there. Folded 98.82. So it's 498 and 8 tenths. It's it's pretty good for what it is. I mean, I'll do it again. Right, we'll bring it up to 0. Right, so it's picked at 0 up, it's gone straight back to 0. 5 turns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turns, onto the 0. 498, 499, it's a thou out over half an inch, which is not the end of the world really. Right, we'll try the metric one. Right, I've got the metric one in this time. Once again, we'll bring it up to 0. Right, that's 0 there. We'll 0 the axis, change it to metric. Give it 1 full turn. 1 mil. 2 mil. 3.005. That was me. 4.01, a hundredth of a mil. It's less than a fanny's hair. See if it brings a 0 back on again, which it does. So it does what it's supposed to do. I don't see what else I can do with it. Quite honestly, I'm quite impressed with it. It's whiter than I thought it would be. The metric one's definitely better of the two. It just feels better. Right, we'll let Bob have a look and see what he thinks.
I often get asked what's the best DTI, and I always say the best DTI is the one you can afford. So the first one we're going to have a look at is this one. I do believe it's an Imperial one. We'll get it out the box. Again, boxes. I didn't like these boxes, right? And now John's told us the price of these. They're £7. But I can buy a box for £1 to put it in a nice wooden box. After 2 or 3 weeks of this getting taken in and out at work, it'll just drop to bits. So I don't like them boxes. But you'll get top brands what will come in them type of boxes, so there's no difference. Right, so here's the DTI itself. It's very light. It's got a chrome finish on it. In essence, now you wouldn't do that when it's, but I'm not bothered if I break it, it's not mine. It's set at 0, so there's no pre-tension on it. There's no play in the spindle. The clamp works. One thing I don't like is the perspex lens. It's domed, but I don't know if you can see it. It's got what I call a dome in the middle, but a flat round the outside. Maybe it's done a bit better with that, but never mind. Now, it's brand new, never been apart until I get my hands on it. Are we ready for the reveal? La la. Now already I'm liking that. It's brass. It's proper brass plate. Yes, if that pivot wears, you can, just like you do with clocks, you can repair that pivot. You can aim it out, you can use a brooch, aim it out, make a pivot, and it does what it says in the tin. Bad signs, well, the way they've got the hairspring mounted, it's not very secure, but it does what it says in the tin. Now, in our environment, that would, as long as it meets our calibration standard for the SO 9000 what we have, if it lasts 6 months in our environment, in our work environment, then fair dues. For £7, as long as the needle stops where it's supposed to stop, I can't fault it. It does come with a calibration certificate. Woo! Yeah. Do I like this one? Aesthetically, it's better looking than that one. Right? I know the yellow dial, but I don't like this. You can hear it, it's loose. But that's not loose, it's much better. They've copied I won't name the brand, but I suspect underneath this bezel there's a rubber ring. These is much better sealed than what these ones are, and these ones the muck gets straight in the back. There's nothing to stop the muck, but on these ones I know without taking it back, because I can feel it. That's why it doesn't have a clamp on. There's actually an O-ring underneath there, and a nice very soft movement. Again, there's no pre-tension. Yes, it's got pre-tension. What I mean by pre-tension is, if you look at the little hand, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but I'll have to bring the big hand up to the 0, which is, I imagine, 12 o'clock, for the 2 zeros to be in line. Now that's a better type of movement, because if there is any backlash in the movement, by doing that you're taking it out automatically. No, the only downside with it is the back. Like this, it's got a mounting plate on the back, which is this fella here. This doesn't. It would be better advantage if it had the mounting lug. I know you can mount them on the spindle, but it can be a bit rather awkward mounting them on the spindle, which is that bit there, or the spindle holder. There's no movement on the spindle, it does what it says on the tin. So we'll have the back of this one off. The back of this is plastic, and the back of this is plastic. I'm not bothered. If it was such a problem to me, to anybody, you can remake it back. It's easy enough to make a new back if you break the back. But for £7, would you really want to make a new back? Now I'm hoping we have a nice movement on the inside of this. Well, somebody might knock me review, but as I say, I'm not fussed. I'm just saying it how it is. Are we ready? Ta-da! No gasket. Doesn't matter. I don't know why they put a gasket on something. And again, nice. It's basically the same as on the innards, but a better finish. I suspect that one, if I'll put the back on. So this one's got a pin holding the hairspring in. This one hasn't. This one, the hairspring was fed through the hole and just bent round. So if you wanted to improve it a little bit better, just to make this hairspring stable, you would put a pin in. But no, I like that. It's a simple movement. It's an AK-47. It does what it says on the tin. There's no point in having a complicated movement if it gets dirty and it starts jamming up. Then people will say, oh well, it's got a plastic gap. That does nothing. All it does is to stop the main spindle from turning the shaft there, the rack and pinion. All that is to stop that from turning around. It's just a guide. That's the only function of it. Would I buy one? No. And the only reason I wouldn't buy one is because it doesn't come with a peg back. Right? But if you don't mind not having a peg back, then buy one. But I wouldn't buy one because it doesn't have a peg back. And that's the only thing what puts me off it. But aesthetically, if you put that back onto there, I know it won't fit because there's only 3 screws, that's a better DTI than that one in weight. It feels heavier. The lens fits better. It has pre-tension on. You can put pre-tension on that one if you wanted to. But no.
Right, I'm sure you'll agree, but they're certainly accurate enough. They're cheap enough. Would I buy them? Not really, simply because I don't need them. I've got plenty of DTI gauges. Do I think they're good value for money? Absolutely. Especially the American one. As Bob said, if it had a little mountain on the back, it would be even more use, but you can sharp adapt a back plate to fit that. So yeah, I definitely think a good value for money. Don't forget, if you click on the link, buy one, I do get a small commission, which helps us make even more videos. Anyway, thanks for watching, and of course Bob, thanks very much for your input, much appreciated.